Hello, and welcome to whatever this is. Today, I'm gonna talk about Zhongli, and as the title suggests, why I think he sucks. Something that I know many people will disagree with on the grounds that he's one of the most popular male characters, but I can't see it, and I decided, screw it, let's throw my 2 cents into the ring, because why not? Obviously, everyone has their own opinions and views on things, and that's cool, so disagree with me. I just want to throw my own opinion out there. Yeah. Now, I'm not necessarily going to talk about things like Zhongli's kit, nor am I going to talk about specific personality traits, though there are elements of both that I personally dislike. I love history, but the man manages to make it sound so boring and is better than their voice. No. I instead want to look at how his character is presented to the player. See, characters in story are either presented as static characters, ones who don't change throughout the course of the story, or as dynamic characters, ones who do. These changes are more than just base level things, like I no longer live on this street, or I've retired. They look at the personality and the way that the character views the world. Zhongli would be considered the first type of character. From the moment we've met him, he's shown no sign of progressing or regressing as a person, has the same views, and really just still Zhongli. Now, in a lot of writing classes, you're often urged to avoid static characters as they can be seen as boring, and while I personally believe that there is a time and a place for everything in writing, I do have to agree that it doesn't quite work in this instance. Whenever we run into Zhongli, be it in the Archon quest or his own personal quest, the focus is looking at history and the traditions around Liyue and not on him. Well, this decision does make sense, as it's clear that Zhongli already went through multiple stages of growth prior to the story that we don't ever really get to see or experience. It still has a negative effect on his character. He's meant to be an important, if not central figure during these events, but since he's not changing, he feels more pushed to the side. In essence, it would be as if I had already decided that she was looking at eternity wrong before we even arrived in Inazuma to watch and try to help with the changes. And being a static character can work. Venti is a static character. Mentor figures, side characters, and even in some instances the characters we are experiencing the story through can be static. If it improves the overarching story, then it should totally be done. But it needs to be balanced out. With Venti, they slowly reveal more about what he personally went through to create a more emotional character quest. Even when it doesn't necessarily focus on Venti, we get a moment to see him and his character shine through. But that's because Venti is an active character. So what does that mean? Well, an active character is one who goes out and does things, and a passive character is one who has things happen to them. With Venti, we see him running around and attempting to help Mondstadt and its people. But everything just sort of happens to Zhongli. The Fatui show up and he does nothing. He runs into a girl who wants to dig into a historical event that he was vaguely connected to. Azhtahar starts to wake up and he just happens to get involved because we go, man, if only we knew someone who knew a lot about rocks. Oh, I know, the god of rocks. He doesn't make the decisions to do any of these things. They just happen, and he goes along with it. In this way, Zhongli just feels like a character who is there to occasionally info dump. This makes it harder to connect with him, or for players who didn't immediately enjoy his character to later see him in a different light. It can also make him really boring, which, considering he's the Archon of Liyue, the city based on China, which is where the game is made, and so therefore is going to be really important and come back constantly as we go there to celebrate real-life events like Lantern Rite. Yep, it's not good. We'll be seeing him over and over, and when you try and reuse something that's so thin so many times, it's bound to break. And yeah, so those are my thoughts, or rather they're the watered down version of my thoughts that hopefully didn't get too tainted with my bias. Like I hinted at the beginning, I think that he's a bit full of himself, and I can't fathom what he thought giving up his Gnosis to the Fatui would do, especially since it just screws over the economy in the long run, because Mora is literally not a renewable resource. Like, you use it in crafting and then it fades away. That is not just a mechanic of the game, that's something that physically happens in the world of Tavad, and Mora is really important, and most people are running around through ley lines, so it's going to run out eventually. But those are personal things that don't help people really reflect on character writing, so they aren't needed here. So I'm gonna end it there. Thank you for watching, or whatever you did to hear me say this. Have an awesome rest of your day. Stay safe. Goodbye.